not going to sit here and give an obligatory condemnation of Hamas, because I will condemn the only thing that makes sense to condemn, which is the root of the violence, which is the occupation and the siege. It is non-negotiable to give people basic human rights. And when you deny people basic human rights, there will be violence and there will be bloodshed. That is just an inevitability, especially when you make peaceful resistance impossible, which they so clearly have. But the actual depraved levels of propaganda that was uncritically repeated by Western media and just lapped up by Western audiences, it was frankly cartoonish. Because, at first I didn't have any reason to question the fact that civilians were killed en masse at the Nova Festival. I was alarmed and surprised to find out later that a lot of civilians were actually killed by Israeli forces themselves that indiscriminately fired into the kibbutzes and actually bombed several homes. I mean, you look at the firebombing, or you look at the bombed out cars that they're now burying to get rid of the evidence, it looks like the highway of death during the Gulf War when U.S. forces retreated and there was just like hundreds of bombed out cars with charred corpses inside. That is what Israeli soldiers did. That is what Apache helicopters do. So how many people actually were killed by their own military personnel? That's my first question. How many armed settlers were killed? These are questions that we still do not have answers for. I really hope that there is an investigation into October 7th to determine what really did happen. But yes, I mean, the depraved levels of propaganda to dehumanize Arabs and Palestinians and try to conflate Hamas with ISIS, planting the ISIS flag in the ruins of some of these homes, it's despicable. It's despicable, the fact that Western journalists looking at an institution as much as the Israeli military lies, they are the least credible institution that you should be looking at for anything related to anything that's going on with this conflict. So the fact that their press releases were uncritically taken by Western media and just printed as in any other thing that erupts there, it was comical. The 40 beheaded babies said by a fanatical settler and touted across every major newspaper around the world. Once a lie like that is cemented, there's no taking it back, right? I mean, people still say that all day, every day. They behead babies and they have mass rape of the women, as if all the militants went over there and just planned on doing mass rape and beheading infants. I mean, it's totally insane. I'm open to the fact that rape happened. The thing is, I have not seen evidence to prove that fact. So when you're talking about mass rape and you have no evidence to document it, extraordinary claims require evidence. So those two things were never proven. And even when you have UN investigators asking for proof, they are told that they are anti-Semitic. You have think piece after think piece really trying to push this now, because 6 weeks, 7 weeks after the genocidal onslaught begins, they need to keep bringing people back to October 7th because they've lost the world, right? And you see this global movement erupting. And so they need to keep bringing people back. That's why you have these IDF propaganda videos